awfully interesting. Don't know if any of you turned it off and went to something else and came back to it and found it to be a tie game or close to a tie game. But the guys played great in the first half. Did a great job of preparing themselves, very ready to play. And then I thought midway through that second half, after we'd given up a lot of that lead, Dion made a couple big plays, getting to the free throw line, making a three, and pushing that lead back to 14. Really put us in position to hold them off with that last charge of theirs. So a very good road win. Bradley's good. Those two guards that they've got are as good a tandem as there is in the league, and to be able to withstand that pressure in the second half and get a win over there was a great effort yesterday. Obviously got a lot of work to do. Short turnaround with playing Sunday, Wednesday. Prep today, prep tomorrow. At the same time, you got to manage a little bit of rest for some of the guys that play heavier minutes. So we a lot of work to do starting today to get ready for Wednesday. With that, I would take questions.
Speaking of minutes, you kind of settled on 8 guys that have gone into the game these last 4 games. Gone 8 deep. Is that the rotation as you see it right now, or is there a possibility that you might want a couple other guys maybe have other spots?
Right. You know, Chip and Matt Bohannon have both played very well. Chip had I felt like his 2 best games prior to the game yesterday. He was, he was okay yesterday, but the 2 prior to that were his 2 best games. And Matt Bohannon has been very consistent and had maybe his best game yesterday. And then Austin has been the other guy off the bench that's gone in, each of the past number of games, and he's played well for us. Gives us a little bit of a physical presence, and that's helped us. But the other guys, Max and Marvin, Nate, all 3 of those guys have practiced well, and so a rotation that we've gotten more comfortable with, but not an indication that the other 3 guys aren't gonna see some time.
It's in Creighton. I mean, they've lost a couple. Obviously going through the conference the second time, teams kind of know what to look for.
Right.
And you're coming in a little bit hot. I mean, so how does that shape up?
Creighton had won 3 in a row just prior to the two games that they lost this past week, and the 2 losses at Indiana State, which is going to be a hard game for anybody to win. And Indiana State played great in that game, and they're very capable of playing that way. They've put together a good season. And then Illinois State is the hottest team in the league right now. And Creighton played well Saturday night against Illinois State, but Illinois State just played a little better. And Tyler Brown had an unbelievable second half in that game, and helped his team get over the hump. And Creighton didn't shoot it quite as well as they normally do. They missed some open threes in that one. So, like I said, they'd won 3 in a row, and they played 2 teams that are really good and played very, very well against Creighton in those 2 games. So I don't think really an indication of how Creighton's playing. They're playing good basketball, and as we all know, they've got a terrific team and a lot of weapons. So I expect the kind of game we've had with them for the most part, where it's going to be a close game.
With everybody that they've got offensively, how tough is it to get a team ready to play?
Well, I think the inside guys with Doug and with Eshanike, they get so much attention, and they should because of how good they are. But they're shooting, better than 40% as a team from the 3-point line, and shooting at 50% or over 50% as a team overall, and that. So you almost have to make a decision as to where you're going to start your defense. And you do that in most games, but when you do it against most teams, you feel okay about what you're going to allow. What's gonna happen when you take something away. Where with Creighton, if you take one of them away, you don't feel that good about what else they're going to do, and if you take the other one away, you don't feel good about the first one. So they're a terrific team and a high-powered offensive team.
McDermott's versatility kind of helps that. I mean, did you see some of that when you had him here? I mean, did you see the potential offensively that he could produce at that level?
Yeah, Doug's always had a great feel and a knack for scoring. I think his versatility has improved and increased for 2 reasons. 1, because he works so hard, and 2, his body has caught up over the last year and a half. You know, he physically, his body is caught up, and now he's able to do some things that he wasn't able to do 2.5, 3 years ago. And but I think the improvement he's made in his game is because he works so hard. He's always had the high skill level. He's always been able to score the ball in different ways. He's always been very efficient on offense. But he just he spends a lot of time at it. He works really hard, and that's why he's gotten better.
Explain your team over the last 7 games. I mean, outside of those 2, games in Indiana that could have certainly have gone your way. I mean, you got a 7-game streak where you guys, is it more of an attitude? I mean, you're doing a lot of things well. I mean, on the offensive and defensive end.
Yeah, I think the biggest change in terms of the way we're playing has been at the defensive end and in terms of rebounding. Those 2 areas are much more consistent for us right now, and I still feel like we've got room in both. We can still defend better, and we can certainly rebound the ball better, but those 2 areas have been much more consistent and much better. I like our positioning defensively for the most part. Our rotations are better. Guys are grinding a little bit more defensively, and then we've been a more active rebounding team. And if we can take both of those one more step here, we'll set ourselves up pretty well for the rest of this month and into the conference tournament. But I think if stepping away from the basketball part of it, the mentality of our group in terms of how they prepare has been the reason why we've been able to play well. They've continued to prepare at a high level, at practice, outside of practice, in between classes, extra film, extra shots, and that's been a result of our 4 seniors. Those 4 guys have just done a great job of keeping guys on the same page, keeping guys working hard, even when things weren't going our way early January. Our 4 seniors have been terrific.
What's getting thrown around college basketball a lot right now is what's happening within the top 25 security. And I think that's something we're seeing in the conference right now too. Is this as balanced a league, or as balanced a league as you expected it to be at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of factors as to why our league is seeing the 3 teams at 9 and 4, and there isn't one team right now that's completely separated from the group, and then you've got a bunch of teams in the middle, and good players, good coaches, hard places to play. I think the other aspect to it is the number of seniors in the league this year. Everybody, I believe, but Indiana State and Missouri State has got a number of seniors, whether it's 2, 3, 4, or I don't know if anybody's got 5 of them, but 2, 3, and 4 for sure. And regardless of what your record is, when you're a senior in this league, you're not you're going to play well, and you're going to play hard, and that makes it difficult for everybody. Games are hard late January, early February, but when you've got a bunch of seniors in this league with the coaching and the quality of players, and as hard as it is to go on the road and win games, that's a difficult combination for everybody. I think that's playing out a little bit.
Is there any kind of reflection on what's happening within this league and what's happening across the country?
I think big picture with college basketball right now, and I've talked about it a little bit before, because of the AAU basketball, and that, you can go back, I don't know if it's 6, 8, 10, 12 years, whatever number that is, because guys play against each other all the time, there's no real surprises. Being intimidated by somebody else is no longer part of college basketball because they play against each other from the time they're in 7th, 8th grade, and then they play 4 or 5 years against each other all summer long. So that part of it is gone. And then scouting has changed so much with everything that's available to us. We see every play of every game. So when we go to play somebody and when we get ready for Wednesdays, we'll have seen every play of every game that Creighton's had. Between those 2 things, games are hard to win.
When you look at the second half of that Creighton Illinois State game, I'm sure you know that they were having a little difficulty with that 2-3 zone. Might we see a little zone?
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a question coming or if that was a statement, Dave.
Knowing you probably won't answer, I just wanted to make sure you saw the second half.
Glad you pointed that out.
My pleasure.
Anybody else? Yeah. Doug.
Coach, was it Bradley's defense or our guys' unselfishness having 2 shot clock violations? It looked like they passed up a couple
Yeah, Bradley's defense is good. You know, they missed some shots early yesterday, and I think that slowed them down a little bit at both ends. So we were able to get some stuff done in the first half. But they're a very good defensive team, and their guards, they make it hard. And they're two guys up front with Pickett and Egolf. They're able to get out and pressure and deny as well. So you don't have a lot of outlets when you're playing against Bradley, and that makes it tough. And then, you know, our team they're unselfish. You know, obviously you'd like to finish those possessions with a shot, but I'd say a combination of the two, Doug. You know, Bradley's defense is really good, and we like I said, we played a great first half offensively, and they got to us a little bit in the second half. Anybody else? Thank you.